Hey guys, welcome to Draw My Life. My name is Rachel, as you all know. I was born May 21st, 1990, in the Chula Vista Hospital in San Diego, California. And I was born to a very young mother. And at the time, my birth father, he really wasn't ready to have a child, so he wasn't involved at all. It was just me and my mom. And for being so young, she really did the best that she could. And she stepped up and she was a parent. And then when I was about 2 years old, she ended up marrying who I still today call my dad because he's raised me my entire life. And so they ended up getting married. And then about 4 years old, we moved from San Diego, California to Oregon. And in that same year, they ended up having my sister, Kristen. So we had the big move, completely to a different state. And then I had a sibling, and we're 4 years apart. And so then about 9 years old, all that time passes. And then when I'm about 9 years old, my parents end up divorcing, and me and my sister did not see it coming. We had no idea, so we were pretty upset about it, and it just completely changed our whole lives. We ended up moving. We lived with my mom. My sister spent a lot of time at my dad's, and I would go visit here and there. And that's how it was until about a year later, my mom ended up meeting somebody else, and then she married my stepdad. And in that marriage, the first one that they had was my little brother, and he was born pretty soon after they got married, and he was actually born 2 days before my birthday. And he had a heart condition and had to be flown to Portland. He had to have surgery, and everything ended up being good, but it was a hectic ordeal. So then they had my sister Brooke, and then the two youngest sisters, they actually adopted. One of them was from foster care, and they are full blood sisters. So those are my two littlest ones. And sorry, my voice is crazy. And then I started, going to school. I switched elementary schools a couple times, and I was always shy in school, so I never really had a lot of friends. I didn't talk to anybody. I never really wanted to even go to school. I would pretend that I was crying and I was sick, and my mom caught on, knew I wanted to go or didn't want to go, and I always got bullied. So elementary school, it really wasn't that bad, but it mostly started in middle school, and kids just picked on me all the time. They were mean. I never stood up for myself. So switching schools never really upset me because I wanted a new start. I wanted to get away from these mean people. And then all of this bullying eventually led me to becoming friends with kids in high school that weren't the best crowd to be hanging out with. And so with these new friends, I was happy to have friends finally and people that accepted me for who I was. But then I started going to parties a lot. I was partying all the time, just not making good choices. And it just strained my relationship with my family and everything. And in high school, it just, part of peer pressure and all of that. But I ended up graduating, which was a good thing. I was one of the first in my family, so I was really proud of that. And then about 20 years old, I was living with my boyfriend at the time, some of my friends, and still partying. And then I found out that I was pregnant because I was just feeling off. And I just remember being so scared and I was crying and I was so scared to tell my mom. I ended up messaging her. I texted her at Fred Meyers, and I'm just like, you're not, or guess what, or something like that, or you're going to be mad at me. And she's like, what did you do? But she was super supportive. Me and that boyfriend broke up pretty early into my pregnancy, and we had been together off and on for a couple years, so it was very hurtful and very horrible time to break up, and so I ended up moving out and going to live with my mom again so that I could just separate myself from it, separate myself from bad people, and, just get my act together. And my mom was super supportive through all of it. She was awesome. She went to every single appointment with me. She heard my daughter's heartbeat for the first time, and it was just really cool. And I'm so thankful that she was there for me through all of that. And it really made us bond, it definitely made our relationship so much better. And so after all of that, I ended up, while I was living at my mom's, I got a job, so I started working full time, and I was saving up money, and I got myself a little apartment, just a little 2-bedroom apartment for me and Ava. And I had like a little bedroom for her, got it all ready, and it was all cute. And then on July 28th, 2011, Ava was born. And that night, previously, I was going to get a milkshake, and then my water broke, and ended up calling my mom and not knowing what to do. And so I went to the hospital, and I didn't have her till the next day. And she was a super healthy baby. She was almost 9 pounds, so she was a total chunk, and she was just perfect. And it was amazing. I didn't know what to expect, but she was perfect, and definitely the biggest blessing in my life. She came at the perfect time, and I just completely turned my life around because of this little girl. And it's awesome. It's like I've got my own little best friend that's part me, and so it was really neat. And then about a year and a half later, I met somebody, and I ended up rushing into a marriage. We weren't together for very long, and we got married. We just went to the courthouse, and we got married, and obviously we lived together and all of that. And so fast forward, about a couple years into it, and I came home one day, and we had a rocky relationship from the start. We didn't really know each other, and just jumping into a marriage, it was hard. So a couple years later, I come home, and I open the door, and he's just completely moved out. I had no idea it was coming, so I was heartbroken. And how breakups are. I was still young and all of that. So then fast forward to today, and we are actually, it's been years now, and we haven't been together in so long, but we are in the process of getting divorced now. And it's been a long time coming. It's not something that's easy, even though we haven't been together for so long. It is what it is. But, I've been a single mom for so long. I felt like a single mom for so long. So it's just more the idea, I guess. And now just realizing and really thinking about it and surrounding myself with the people that love me and my family, and of course my little girl. Me and her really we're so blessed, and we have a roof over our heads. We have our own house. I have a job. I have a couple jobs. And we have everything we need. So I'm very thankful, and I know that we're going to be okay, and just got to keep pushing through. And you just got to be thankful for what you have. And I know that a lot of times when things like this happen, you forget how blessed you really are. So you just got to take a step back and kind of think about that, and think about the things that you do have, the things that are good, and the people that are good, and it really helps you get through it. And so we're just pushing through, and our story is really just starting to begin, and it's still being written. We have a lot of great things ahead of us. We've got a lot of great things right now, currently, and life is beautiful, and it is what you make of it. And so we're gonna get through it, and we're gonna have a great life. We're gonna succeed, and my little girl's happy, and that's what matters. So you just gotta make the best of your situation, keep your head up, and that's what I keep telling myself, So, and if you've been there, know that there's other people that are going through it too, and you're not alone, and you can do it. And so I hope that you enjoy our, Draw My Life. I guess it's my life, but it's also got Ava in it. So for now, our story's to be continued.